You've been here 13 years. Why do you love what you do?
It's just so dynamic and enjoyable. At the end of the day, the pool business, when I hire guys now, yeah, you can make a great living, but you get to make people happy, you get to design, you get to sell, you get to problem solve. There's just so many different pieces to your day. The day goes by like this. I remember back in the day doing different things, and you could almost watch the clock during your work day. When's my break? When's lunch? When do I go home? In the pool industry, there's always more than you can ever accomplish, and it's just so much fun from start to finish. It's hard. There's challenges for sure, but it's very fulfilling.
When you go into a new situation with a customer or start a new relationship with a customer, what kinds of things are you taking from them in terms of feedback on what they want? What are you looking for? What are you keying in on?
Everything you just mentioned, I want to know about them. I want to know about the way they want the space to feel, the way they want to use it, what's important to their family, what the site dictates, how we can create interesting focal points, create destinations, not have dead spots in the yard, how we can program the space so it relates to the house so that there's good sight lines from the major doors or windows. Want it to be something that is functional, but also extremely aesthetically pleasing and a lot of fun for either their family or their friends when they get together.
How much art, how much science?
Design certainly sells. When someone has an emotional attachment to what you've created, they certainly become more invested in the project. But science and function and programming the space makes sense too. If it's only beautiful, but it isn't functional, it doesn't have a flow, it doesn't make sense, then that doesn't work for the customer either when they use the backyard. So I'd say it's a blend of both.
So how does it feel to you when the pool is finished and you get to see the client see it for the first time or experiencing it in the first month or so?
Yeah, really good. When somebody like the Weisses that were just here is just thrilled with their backyard, or we read a report card on Tuesday and they have glowing remarks about maybe not just the design, but our team, very fulfilling. That's kind of what keeps you going.
And it's not just the pool, right? I mean, it's like Premier Pools and Spas does it all. I mean, it creates the whole space.
Everything. Yeah, I mean, pool, hardscapes, fire features, water features, outdoor kitchens, fire pits. We do pavers and tile overlays. We do artificial turf, and we do that almost entirely in-house. The only parts of the backyard that we don't deliver because they're not every project request would be finished landscaping or patio covers. But I have contractors that I've partnered with over the years that I like to refer and can deliver that turnkey kind of A to Z soup to nuts product for the customer. So I think we can deliver an entire backyard to a customer.
Two things Keith said that were really important to him were timelines and communication. How do you work to achieve both with a new client?
Well, I think communication starts early on, right? Meeting somebody, setting expectations for how quickly you'll have a design back to them, following up with them thereafter, having design review meetings, pricing out a pool, value engineering as needed. That's all communication. But then when the sale happens and now we're heading towards construction, communication becomes even more critical, especially once we get in somebody's backyard and start pulling it apart before we put it back together. People want to know what's going on, when a crew's going to be there, what's happening today, if something's not going right or something looks wrong, if they have a question right away responding, or even better, going out and meeting that customer in person to problem solve that. So communication is huge. Speed of construction timelines, big deal. Keith's a big believer in that. The faster we can build a pool while still doing a good job and communicating well, the happier a customer is.
One thing I keyed in on is you talked about how it's like a lot of different things. It's art, it's science, it's problem solving, it's communication, it's relationship.
I'd take it another step because we talked about the client experience and that communication and the art of creating a backyard. But one of the things I love about my job is where I work. Years ago, there was another gentleman in the pool business who was trying to recruit me to come work for his company. And I remember going over to his office and it was lonely. There was nobody there. And I was thinking, man, every day in the building, I have 15, 20, 30 people that I'm enjoying conversations, laughing. We're talking about what we do. We're sharing stories. Now I get to root for my team and I get to train new people and I get to teach them what I learned over the years, which is gratifying, and seeing kind of that next generation come up within our ranks. But when I first started here, I went out, I knew nothing about swimming pools. I went out for the first 2 months and just worked with our crews. And I tried to do everything they did. And I was as tired as I've ever been, sore. But I built relationships with those guys because they saw me trying. And it's really fun seeing them on a job site now and having that conversation about 10 years ago when I tried to bend a piece of rebar or do this or that. So I like my job because of what I do and who I work with and where I work.
How do you build that customer journey for them? Like, how do you welcome them into the Premier Pools and Spas family?
Sure.
And how do you see, how do you see they're seeing that through their eyes?
If you don't have somebody to build the pool for or can't create that relationship, it's just a waste of energy and time, right? So you do have to develop rapport with a customer, tell them not only about yourself, but the company more importantly and who we are, and then being able to earn their business and trust.
What are the indications they give you, the signs that you feel like that connection's being made?
If I can get someone laughing a little bit, let down their guard, I think there's some trepidation. If I can see them either, kind of shaking their head and agreeing, or being thrilled with the design, or understanding the bid. I like to get very specific when we go through the costs of something and give people options and opportunity to value engineer. This is their project. They can spend what they want to spend. I don't care what the budget is. I want this to check all of their boxes. So I can kind of get their buy-in and see that they are reciprocating kind of the energy and excitement I have, and understand where we're headed and where we're going. Ultimately, I know for sure when we're building a pool, after we built the pool, if they start referring me or our company, when they say, you got to call Premier or you got to call Lance, and I'm getting a call from somebody they know and trust, that's awesome. That now they're willing to refer, and referral is a big thing. If I refer somebody, I own that referral, right? Whether it goes good or bad. And so I think customers are the same way. They have a lot of trust in us at that point if they're referring us. It's always changing. Our industry's always evolving. Styles, materials, textures, preferences. You think back 20, 30, 40 years ago, a pool was a kidney bean, right? Now it's all lineal and modern. We've kind of become minimalist with our architectural styles, both interior styles and exterior styles, which those two things correlate to each other. So you have to be able to change for sure in design and construction and architecture. It's just a need. Any pool company, you probably have a designer or a salesperson that at least creates the initial design. Our guys, the biggest thing for them is they're not just designers or salespeople. You are involved with the customer from start to finish. If I hand that project off to the construction team or subcontractors for companies that don't have an in-house construction team like Premier, a lot gets lost in translation, and that will affect the customer experience. So ultimately, it's a journey for the customer and for our designers and salespeople. From the first time you meet somebody till the climax, it may be a 6-month window from initial design to final inspection passed at the very back end of the project. So I think that's one thing that Keith has done a good job of instilling as the culture and how we do things as a sales team. You think of a salesperson, he sells something, he's gone, right? That's not what our sales team does. They do sell, that's their primary function, but really they take a lot of pride in design. They take a lot of pride in customer experience, and they are project managers throughout the duration of the project with our construction superintendents, with our phase managers, with the scheduling team, with the support of this whole engine.